March 12th, 2019 at 5:45. And at this time, I'm going to call to order and ask the color guard of Lakewood Ranch High School, Junior ROTC, to proceed and then join them and me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Let me just say that the color guard was escorted by Master Sergeant retired William Cassidy, Army instructor. The members included Cadet Garrett Andrews, Cadet Jace Grayson, Cadet Bailey Hope, and Cadet Olivia Sarr. Thank you very much from Lakewood Ranch High School. The next item on the agenda is student celebration. I'm going to ask Mr. Mike Barber introduce the JROTC Raider State Champions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, board members, and Superintendent Saunders.
This is a large team.
We got more.
You'll see him thirsty now.
Okay, board members, as y'all well know, the school district of Manatee County has a storied and tradition of excellence when it comes to JROTC in our high schools. When other districts were dropping JROTC, we were always proud to say that all of our district high schools had JROTC programs. Our JROTC programs are respected around the state of Florida, and one way that they earn that respect is by dominating the Florida State Raider Challenge. This school year's Raider Challenge was held in December at Camp Flaming Arrow near Lake Wales. The Raider Challenge competitions usually consist of 5 events: the tire flip, the 5K run, the Raider fitness course, cross-country rescue, which includes an element of first aid testing, and rope bridge construction and crossing. There are multiple divisions in the competition, including male teams, female teams, and mixed teams. During this year's Raider Challenge, the school district of Manatee County had 6 teams bring home state championships, and we're going to introduce those teams to you tonight. So I'm going to have each instructor come up, introduce the captain of the team, and they will introduce their teammates. And then we will line them up along here. So we're going to have a lot of kids here tonight, but I can tell you this, I've probably never had an easier group to work with in terms of taking, orders. So we're going to get it all done here. So
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Do I need these? You all can hear me fine, right? Well, listen, this year is not only 6 state champions, we also had a couple of second places and third place. So what we decided to do is just bring an 18-wheeler, all the trophies back, and said, we'll see you next year.
Okay.
Manatee County just swept everybody, and very impressive. I'm filling in for Sergeant Major Zock. He is the team coach for all the teams. I'm sort of the fill-in and assistant, but they did a great job this year, and I tell you what, you should be very impressed and very proud and pleased with these young ladies and young men Not just my school, but you got 4 more behind me. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce the team commander, Jocelyn. And she's going to introduce all her players. She promised me she wasn't going to get nervous. So.
Okay, thank you.
Colonel. All right, first I would like to say thank you for recognizing us. As introduced, I am the captain of the Raider team for Manatee High School, Jocelyn Medares. And now I'd like to introduce my teammates. First with my co-commander, my twin, Jacqueline Medares.
Congratulations to you.
Following Marinelli Santiago,
Congratulations.
Allison Harris, Felicity Sanchez, Jordan Painter, Ansley Wood, Kaylin Weiskopf,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Lana Grunlin,
Thank you.
Beth Fallon,
Congratulations.
Rashida Gomez, Natalia Camargo,
Congratulations to you, man.
Lady Arenas, and Abby Harris.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, man.
Congratulations.
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 You might have heard a couple.
All right, yeah, if y'all could just stand and, yeah, like a single file, you guys can stay.
Congratulations to you, man.
Try and get a picture of y'all with the scoreboard in the background when this is over, okay? So,
Where are we?
so what we're gonna do is, and because we're gonna try and get all the teams up here at once, we're not gonna be able to shake hands with every single team. So, because we're gonna have too many kids up here. So, let the teams introduce themselves. If you guys could just line up here, and then, when we get to the end, we'll get a picture with all the board members in the background, okay? All right.
Oh, they're still coming.
All right, board members, my name is Chief Warrant Officer 4 Edmond with Palmetto High School. Each year I've been to Raiders state competition. We never made it, we never won, but we never gave up. But this year was our year. But there's no way I could have made it or done it without a team captain. And I had the perfect guy, Matthew Watson, okay? He was my guy, because no matter what it was, he made it happen. Without him, I don't think we would have been a champion. So all the effort goes to him, because he did it. He did everything I expected of him, okay? And the teammates, yeah, they followed him all the way to the end. And just like I told them, we take no prisoners. And everywhere we went, that was our motto. We take no prisoners. It didn't matter what tier it was. We beat everybody, every one of them. So I'm very proud of them for all their hard work and hanging in it, okay? Without further ado, team captain, Matthew Watson.
Okay, okay.
I just want to say thank you so much, Chief, for saying that. It's been an absolute pleasure leading this team this year. All these guys are absolutely amazing. Strongest hearts I've ever met. These kids will not give up, I swear. All right, so first here is Irvin Corona Ochoa,
Okay.
followed by Ben Resendez, Michael Bethany, Chris Payton, Michael Steele, Chris Anderson, Colin Butso, Miguel Sanchez, Ethan Martin, Santana, and Luis Carlos. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's give it.
Good evening, board members for Sergeant Watson Space Shore High School. It's our second trip to the state Raider competition. Last year I had the male team that were champions. They came in short this year, second place. This year the mixed team came through. It's a combination of six males, 4 females. led by the commander. He's a junior this year, Justo Hermida. He was a perfect pick for a team captain. He provides that purpose, direction, and motivation. Without further ado, Justo.
Thank you for the opportunity today. I just want to get out there. If none of this would be possible without the power of God, and without keeping God first, none of this would be possible right now. And I just wanted to get that out there and thank God for everything. Thank you for the opportunity of bringing us here today. And our first cadet is Cadet Estrada, Cadet Bowen, Cadet Oscar, Cadet Carino, Cadet Mariquin, Cadet De La Salas, Cadet Cruz, De Leon, and Cruz. Thank you.
Hey, welcome. I'm Sergeant Major Collis from Braden River High School. We have two teams that we're bringing here to honor tonight. And my two team captains are young ladies because they get the job done. The first young lady I'd like to introduce is Gina Presimone. She's a senior, 3-time Raider State champion. Gina, you want to introduce your team?
Hi, thank you for having us tonight. I want to introduce my team. This is our mixed team. This is our cadet Sarah DeSault. This is Benjamin Walmsley, Alex Conyers. We got Reed Blankenship and Luis Cortez. Thank you.
And I'd like to give the Bayshore commander an amen for what you said. The next young lady I want to introduce you, all the kids on my team have GPAs of 3.2 or higher. The young lady that we chose to be our, that's right. The young lady that was the commander of my female team, 3 years ago, she came to us from Argentina. She couldn't speak English. She's fluent at speaking English. She has a GPA of 4.2, is Marina Herrera.
Hi, thank you for having us tonight. And my female team is composed by Valentina Herrera, Tanya Cortez, Sayla Swanson, Andrew, and then Taylor Kiesler and Olivia.
Good evening. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dick Roller. I'm from Lakewood Ranch High School, and I've got the female Tier 3 champion team and the male Tier 3 champion team in Lakewood Ranch colors, as you can see. Seriously, our team is in purple this year in honor of domestic violence. They lost one of their teammates the day after the SMA meet, and they opted to wear purple in honor of domestic violence awareness and in her honor, and her name's on their backs. And with that, I'd like to introduce the female team commander and our battalion commander, Kendall Brayler.
Hi, I'm Kendall Brayler. As Colonel Roller said, I'm the battalion commander of Lakewood Ranch High School. We don't have all of our ladies here. We have a handful. I'll introduce them. We have our Sergeant Major here, Sofia Uribe. We have one of our juniors here, Julia Cruz Roberts, and one of our sophomores here, Rachel Gonzalez. And then Corey Gonzalez will be following me. He's the team captain for our male team.
I'm Cadet Corey Gonzalez. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our male team. So we have Nash Young, Ethan Nichols, Matthew Durham, Nick Stanley, Alex Dine, Jace Grayson, and Garrett Andrews. Everyone's not here today, but I think we have a couple more guys, but they're off working and doing stuff. So.
Thank you for being here, and again, I just want to emphasize every person up here is a state champion, so we're all proud of you. So I'm going to ask you to do one thing. If the Lakewood Ranch team could come up in the front here and get on a knee, like right here in the middle. Yeah, good. Right there, and then Braden sort of behind them and sort of, you know, maybe hunch down a little bit like that. Then, move some of the Manatee high team a little bit over into the middle, so make sure.
Wow.
Okay, now I'm going to get a couple photos, and then we're going to have your parents get a chance to take.
That's okay, don't worry.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now parents, and by the way, parents, if you're stand up.
Yeah, give them
If I squint my eyes enough.
Straight ahead, guys.
Hey, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. We don't have a whole lot of state champions right here. Apparently we got a room full. Congratulations, team.
What are they gonna do?
Yes, I think.
I think we'll see you Thursday.
Yes, Thursday. I'm sorry I won't see you Thursday. I appreciate the invite.
See you Thursday. Thank you.
See you later. Congratulations.
And your wife will be attending as well? Can you confirm her name?
Oh, Mildred.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you so much.
We all right?
She's got this event on lockdown.
Reverend Lockdown.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
It's okay. We're okay.
Sure, you guys do a great job.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice job. Nice job.
Sorry for emptying out the room, but I want to just let you guys
Where'd
know,
everybody
next
go?
board meeting, we have 70 first graders coming that we're going to try and do the same thing with.
Is this the next?
No, I'm
board
kidding.
meeting? Got to,
Mr.
Y'all heard that.
gotta go.
70 first graders, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, let's get out of here by 7:15.
Okay.
Wow, that's something impressive. All right, the next item on the agenda is, under reports and presentations, is a report from our representative to the Central Florida Public School Board Coalition.
Agenda approval.
What?
We do need to approve the agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. I stand corrected, and thank you. The agenda is before us. Now, do I hear a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, and this includes all amendments on the March 12th agenda, updated March 12th, and posted to the district website. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. It passes 5-0. And we can get on to the important item of the reports and presentation. As I think many of you already know, I have the privilege of representing all of us in Orlando with the Central Florida Public School Board Coalition, composed of 14 different school boards from the Gulf to the Atlantic, including representing over the families of over 4 million students. What we have been focusing upon at this meeting was what's going to happen in Tallahassee that affects, public education in our area as well as the estate. Let me just say that it's kind of fuzzy still, but I don't have a lot of good news to report in terms of enhancing public education in Florida at this time. There are some interesting bills that are going on. I think that many of us choose Christianity as our religion. That includes me, but this is a public school for people of all religions. One of the interesting bills that's been put forward is that we, as a school district, would be required to offer a course in basically Christian religions, and we be required, the district, and students wouldn't be required to take it. This, I think, is a great thing in schools that are limited to Christian students, but I personally, and it was mentioned up there, this is basically a Lawyers Relief Act, because I think most districts are going to be sued for it violating our Constitution. But there are some legislators who like to pass bills that, even though the courts may find them inappropriate in our public schools, each district would have to defend it. I am told that in committee hearings, one of the members of the legislature asked if the person who was promoting this bill would allow an amendment which would provide that the state would reimburse districts for the lawyers' fees incurred in defending this lawsuit, and that was not accepted. But if the school district is sued about this, it will require taking money out of the classroom to defend it, probably unsuccessfully. That's sort of the tone that's going on in the legislature right now. It seems to be more about posing politically than really providing the funds necessary for advancing public education. Our community is very blessed by having a community that supports public education, as reflected in the vote about a year ago this time that added a millage, which has made our salaries for employees more competitive, in fact, more than some neighboring counties. But for those who don't have that millage, to have to rely totally upon the state, they're going to be in worse shape than we are if what comes to pass up in Tallahassee happens that appears to be the direction they're taking. That's in summary, but there are what happens with a lot of these bills, you may have heard about a kind of a train that is toward the end of the session. There's a lot of things that haven't been really approved, but in order to get votes to approve budgets and other things, the person who has the main bill will say, okay, I'll let you put your piece of legislation, even though I don't like it and I'm holding my nose. You make this part of this main bill, and so all these things that are of questionable nature get thrown on and get passed, and then we have to deal with it. And I'm afraid that's what's going to occur in this session. But I encourage everybody in the community to watch closely what's going on in the legislature, to contact our representatives to say, let's remember that the foundation of our country, of our democracy, rests on having good public education. And everybody up here is dedicated to it. I believe everyone in the audience and basically everybody who's watching this on TV tonight are dedicated to that proposition for our country and our community. to have the best possible public education. And we need to have our friends, our legislators, up in Tallahassee to be reminded about that, to, provide the funds, to provide the teachers, and provide all the other necessities that go into providing a good public education. That's the message, from Orlando. That's the message from the Central Florida Public School Board Coalition, to get the word out, contact our legislators, let them know that we're concerned about the direction, and we want them to show their concern for the country and their community by supporting public education. That's it for today. I'm gonna turn the gavel over now to our Vice Chair, Gina Messenger, regarding public comments. So thank you.
And I would like to invite up basically our 6th board member, Mr. Nelson. Come on down.
All right.
It's budget time of year. Mr. Chairman, fellow board members, Superintendent. I read your documents that you send me. This one happens to be your annual budget. So I'm looking at September 6th, September 5th, 2017, to tell you it was prepared by the staff. It was recommended by the superintendent, and the board says, yeah, this is your projection for this year, this is what we're going to get, and this is how we're going to spend it. The other document is the same one, put out by the same people, approved by the superintendent, and also approved by the board. Now, what's the difference? One starts out at the beginning of the year, and what you tell the people. And on the sheet, one of the sheets you got, if you look at the budget book, you start out with the year and said you're going to spend $818 million. That's fine. So some people are going to, the only thing they look at, they say, oh yeah, we got $818 million. Then you look at the next figure down, which is numbers from your Bible or the CFR report. It says, how much did you have last year? How much did you have to spend? $767 million. Now, when you look at those two statements, somebody's misstating $50 million. $50 million a year they're misstating. And I personally believe, this is my personal account, and I explained it many times, you're counting money twice. So if you look at that same piece of paper, it comes to mind, to me, the word lying. I looked that up. It says, BI, it says to make a statement that one knows is false. Is that what you do? Or the other one is, the last one is, you're making a false statement with intent to deceive. I'll let you judge that. You're telling me two different things, and why do you do it? And the last sheet is, because I never got a formal response to one of my things over the years regarding why you're doing that, other than you're complying with the laws and all the regulations. Well, this sheet here, the other one is the same copy of a budget report projection for the same year done by Sarasota. And Sarasota doesn't have a discrepancy. But you see if you do, it says we exclude transfer between funds. They don't count it. They don't double count. So when they issue a budget for income, and when they issue the CAFR report at the end of the year, they're close. How else can you judge whether your forecasting is good? Now, I got 3 minutes left, the last minute. I don't like to be associated with people who lie or untruth. So as a member of the Finance Committee you formed, I hereby resign.
That concludes public comment.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair Messenger. Let's see. Where should I put this? Next, we have a public hearing, and I'm sorry, I lost my agenda here. I should put that out there.
Just close the meeting and
Yeah,
open the public hearing.
okay, thank you. We're going to close the regular meeting at this point, and we're going to have a public hearing to consider approval of a proposed rule amending policy 5120. Is there a motion? Yeah, I guess the superintendent, do you?
Public hearing first.
Okay. Do you, Michelle, can?
Vice Chair Messenger needs to call for public comment at this point.
Okay, thank you.
And I guess I want to ask, I don't have anybody signed up. Do you have anybody signed up? Okay. Is there anyone from the public that would like to come to speak specifically about the policy change 5120? Okay. Then I think that concludes public comment.
Okay, thank you very much. An excellent, very succinct job. Okay, I'm missing the script here.
No, this is what you need right
No,
here.
okay,
So,
okay, got it. All right,
okay, so
thank
we're
you.
gonna close that. You can also watch on there. Okay, so you're right there.
Okay. We will now close the public hearing, and we're back in the regular meeting. Yes.
I wanted to wait till after public comment, but I had a couple of questions about the, or not even a question. I was just going to ask Mr. Sauer come up and just, for transparent, just talk about what are we trying to achieve with this policy change.
Superintendent?
That's in bounds, I believe.
If you
Okay,
want,
why don't
you
you?
want me to answer it? Or do you want me to bring Mr. Sauer up?
It's your call.
Either one.
Okay.
The reason we are bringing this policy forward, there was a board workshop. Really, it dealt with two specific parcels. One was Greyhawk Landing, a small item that was never included in the original boundary. I think that parcel was not in the original purchase, but was added later. Those students go to Freedom versus Gullet. And then we had a new purchase over with a subdivision that deals with the new Parish Community High School. So there was conversation, I believe Reverend Golden asked, instead of us coming back, if someone's expanding a subdivision, could we come up with a policy that captures these situations so that we're not coming back whenever we find that we're facing some of these? So Mr. Sauer went back and worked with legal to come up with kind of the language that captured what was asked from the last workshop. So that's what it was. But Mr. Sauer could.
And I didn't mean to jump over you.
No.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all good.
Mr. Sauer, would you like to add to that? No.
She answered it all.
She does a pretty good job. Okay. In essence, what we had was, in one subdivision out east, we had students being assigned, to, 3 different schools. And you could live across the street from somebody who's going to a different school. And the consensus of the board at that time was that we need to make a policy change so that we keep everybody going to the same school. It just made sense. It made both economic and convenient sense to do that. That's what this amended policy, or proposed amendment policy, does. So, is there any further discussion? The board chair recognizes Board Member Golden.
Chair Minor, we do need a recommendation from the superintendent before you go into discussion.
Okay, thank you. Madam Superintendent, do you recommend that the board approve this policy change?
Yes, sir. I recommend the approval of the proposed rule amending policy 5120, assignment within the district.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the superintendent's recommendation to add, I think it's paragraph D under section 5.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Board Member Hopes, it's been seconded by Board Member Kennedy. Now, is there any further discussion? I think that was applause coming from a microphone nearby. The chair here, or excuse me, the chair recognizes Vice Chair Messenger.
Really more of a question. I see that it's just like, you know, some additional language to the policy, which I think is great. But when we speak to those specific instances, will this now change those instances and correct those? Or will we have to go back and also do that? Or this will now rectify those things?
If the intent was for those students to attend that subdivision of where the existing subdivision is, if this is passed, they will be notified that their now new school zone will be, if you're talking about the one at Greyhawk, will now be Gullet, yes, and versus as well as the other one. And what it does state is that if anyone is expanding their existing subdivision within its boundaries, you can't call Greyhawk somewhere else in the county and get it. It can't be Greyhawk 2, it has to be within those borders of the subdivision. Then they would, instead of us having to come back before the board, they would automatically be notified of where they will go because it's capturing within that one subdivision.
Okay. Well, now I know that we know of these two instances. One, there's no students there yet. One, there is students. Do we know if there's any other instances that this will affect when we approve this?
Mr. Sauer, can you come on down? Thank you.
I just want to make sure that when we're approving this, there aren't so many other repercussions that I'm not aware of.
Good evening, thank you. As far as we know right now, it has not been brought forward that there are any other situations that we're looking at where we would have to go in there and adjust. Again, one with Greyhawk being that it was added into the subdivision after, and then the one in North Parish is they went through the middle of the parcel instead of going up to the top of the parcel.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Board Member Golden.
Right. As I remember the pain, it was that the division, the subdivision had already been split by the current policies. And that this was designed to make sure that we would never have to visit that pain again. But we also said something else, and I want to make sure that that's still on the table. And that is that we are trying to get our planning done in such a way that we won't be doing these kinds of things every 2 or 3 years, but that we're going to have a long-term approach toward zoning for new schools. Now, are we still working on that? Because this is not designed to cure that.
That is correct.
Am I correct? All right. I just want to be clear that we haven't forgotten why we are moving in this direction, that's all. All right.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Golden. I think that your concerns had much to do with initiating this change, so.
Yes, sir.
No, thank you. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, the chair calls the question. All those in favor, please signify by and register by aye and cast your vote.
Aye.
And
Aye.
all those opposed say nay and cast your vote too. And it's unanimous, 5-0. The motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation passes, and we have approved the proposed rule amending policy 5120. And thank you very much. The next item is approval of minutes. Does the superintendent have a recommendation?
Yes, sir. I recommend the approval of the minutes from February 26, 2019, school board workshop and regular meeting and public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Board Member Kennedy, seconded by Board Member Hopes to approve the superintendent's recommendation. Is there discussion? The chair hearing none, the chair calls the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and register your vote. Aye. And, okay, and the recommendation of the superintendent is approved. It's not registering on my screen all that well, but it's are you getting it through? Okay, now it's coming through. Okay, well, it's 5-0. Approved unanimously. Thank you very much. Next item of business is consent agenda. Does the superintendent have a recommendation concerning the items on the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. I recommend the approval of the consent agenda for March 12th, 2019.
Is it?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been, the superintendent's recommendation has been moved for approval by Board Member Kennedy. It's been seconded by Vice Chair Messenger. Is there any discussion? The chair hearing none, the chair will call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. It is approved unanimously. 5-0. I don't see it registered on my screen at this point. Yeah. Board Member Golden's computer is not registering. Now it's all there. Okay. It's unanimously approved. Okay. The next item is new business pulled from consent. It's approval of appointments, a change of assignments, promotions. Does the superintendent have a recommendation?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the appointments, change of assignments, promotions, reappointments, reassignments, resignations, retirements, suspensions, terminations, and transfers.
Okay. It's been moved by, for approval by Mr. Kent and seconded by Board Member Hopes. Is there discussion? The chair hears none. The chair will call the question. All those in favor, please signify. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The chair recognizes Vice Chair Messenger.
I don't necessarily have a comment, but I see that it was pulled from consent, so I assume that there was some discussion that felt that there was necessary there, so I just thought if there was any discussion, I mean, I just felt like it got pulled, so I just was trying to understand why it got pulled. I mean, I understand,
Okay.
you know what I mean, the CIO position is on here, and maybe then we should have someone talk about that. If there isn't a board member that wants to discuss it, maybe there's someone else sitting up here that might discuss.
I will take the privilege of responding to that. I thought it was in the interest of the district that we call this person who is going to be
Mr. Chairman, as
Yeah.
a courtesy motion to the chairman, I would like to move that we change the title of the Chief Information Officer to Chief Technology Officer, which I think is more in alignment with the responsibilities and duties of that position.
Okay,
Mr. Chair,
yeah.
I believe you have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation. I'm not sure Dr. Hope's recommendation amends that motion. It sounds like it's a freestanding motion.
Oh, well, maybe I'll move to amend.
Okay. Let me ask the superintendent's recommendation. I thought your recommendation included in there the provision that what has been commonly called the Chief Information Officer, the CIO, who dealt with what Dr. Hopes, Board Member Hopes was talking about, that it be henceforth with the same duties be the Chief Technology Officer for the district. And somehow I had the impression that that was included in the motion by the superintendent. Maybe I was wrong.
Well, we do have that listed a little bit further down because it was pulled for the purpose or suggestion by a board member that maybe the title is not as appropriate as some would like. So it is listed, but it's further down.
Okay.
So right there, you're hiring the folks that are going to be hired. Then later in the new business non-consent, you're gonna recommend, I'm gonna recommend to change the title of what that particular individual's.
Then
Okay.
I'll withdraw my motion until we get to new business.
Okay, the chair recognizes Board Member Golden.
I really appreciate the explanations, because this to me indicates the working of the sunshine. Board Member Messenger didn't even know why this was pulled from the consent agenda, but she now knows that it got pulled because we have a CIO officer, and we are not only going to try to hire that officer, but Dr. Hopes has brought up the idea that maybe we don't even want to call him that anymore, that we want to call him a chief. And I think it's important that people who are watching us work understand that this is work. That we have an agenda that is not set, and no backroom deals have been cut, and no decisions have been made, that we are sitting here trying to do some very hard work, okay? And so I appreciate it, because I didn't know any of this. And that's all right. That's a good thing that I didn't, because now maybe we can move forward. I just, you got to be careful about how we are perceived. That's all.
Thank you, Board Member Golden.
Yeah.
Okay, Board Member Messenger, Board Vice Chair Messenger.
I guess what I was trying to highlight is that we're hiring a very high-level position, and I really wanted to have a conversation about that so that the community would be informed. Maybe I didn't posture that in the right way, but for me, I want to make sure that the community understands, you know, this is a big deal. This is one of the reasons why the board has hired you and kept you, and so that we can hire these high-level positions. And I want to make sure that we are clear that this is a really positive move. And that was one of the things I was trying to highlight.
Well, thank you. And I would like to, I'd like to defer to Mr. Wagner, who really was involved in all the aspects of the vetting of this process. So I appreciate that. And I know Ms. Boyce sent some emails kind of trying to explain of the amended of the agenda, but I appreciate the opportunity for everybody to understand why we've amended it, why this other title is listed there. But I think back to your question, I would like Mr. Wagner to be able to give some insight.
The chair recognizes.
Very good, thank you.
Mr. Wagner. Yes.
So as you know, we've not had a CIO. I've been assuming those duties since early in the fall. We posted the job. We posted it January 10th through January 26th. We actually did a national posting. And then we posted it again February 26th to March 5th. We had 102 total applicants who applied. Of course, most have IT backgrounds from varying levels. We actually used school district experience as one of the qualifiers to see who we'd be interviewing. I actually called many of the applicants myself to find out what was the size of their school district, because we wanted it to be like-sized school districts. There are people who might have the title CIO, but they may have a school district of 3,000 students. And so while they may hold the title and their job function might be similar, their experiences might not be if you have 3,000 students compared to almost 50,000 students in a technical college. So like-sized districts, school district experience, we ended up with 4 internal and 4 external candidates. So we had 8 interviewed. We ranked them. The top 2 were accepted going to the next round, which was going to be a Skype interview. It was set up, and then when I called back to confirm the times of the Skype, the one candidate from out of state withdrew their application because they had another job offer on the table, and they just didn't feel like it was fair to continue having somebody else wait to make a decision. So they withdrew their decision and took the job that they had. So we gave the second set of interviews the option, since there was just one person, to come in for face-to-face or Skype. They chose to come in face-to-face, and we had a second round, and we had 3 individuals from the IT department 3 individuals who were our management from the IT department have their own interview, and then we had 1 individual from the audit committee have an interview as well with that individual. And they all 4 of the second interviews had positive response that this person was acceptable. And in addition to our first round of interviews, this person was also the first ranking. There's only 2 at the end, but first ranking out of the 2 as well. So we ended up with somebody that we're bringing forward, and I feel like the process was fair and thorough, and it's nice to have a lot of people interested, but we also felt it was very important to have school district, like I said, school district experience. So.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wagner. Now, the superintendent, do you wish to add to that?
No, sir. He
Okay.
covered it pretty well.
All right. I'll add to comments, I think, of Board Vice Chair Messenger. This is really a wonderful thing. This is quite a step forward, for the district, tonight. And with that comment, I'm going to call the question. Now, we're just talking right now about the approval of the appointments. So, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, nay. The motion for approve the superintendent's recommendation passes 5-0. Okay. The next item is the under new business, and is approval of the revised 2019-20 academic calendar, and I'm going to ask for the superintendent's recommendation.
Yes, I recommend the approval of the revised 2019-2020 academic calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Board Member Kennedy, seconded by Vice Chair Messenger to approve the superintendent's recommendation. All those in favor, please signify and register your vote. And by yay if you're in favor, and register yes. And all those opposed, please indicate nay and vote no. And it is approved. Our Board Member Hopes, it's not registering here on my screen.
It's your vote that's missing.
It's my vote's missing, okay. Funny thing, all right. It's up there, but it's not down here.
There is a little bit of delay.
Okay,
This is the first screen, and then that one and yours, there is just a slight bit of delay.
okay, so we have a screen problem, or a screen problem, okay. Thank you, I think we're all there now. Okay, the vote's 5-0, unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item of business is approval of the January 2019 budget amendments. Is there a recommendation from the superintendent?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the budget amendments for January 2019.
Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation?
So moved.
It's been moved by Board Member Kennedy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's seconded by Board Vice Chairman Messenger. All those, is there discussion? The chair hearing none. The chair calls the question. All those in favor, register your vote yes and indicate yay. And
Aye.
okay. Okay. And let's see. I thought I voted yes. Okay. It's not registering up there. Okay, now it's come. Okay. I think it's unanimous, 5-0. The motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation to approve the January 2019 budget amendments is approved unanimously. The next item on the agenda is approval of the year-to-date financial statements through January 31, 2019. Does the superintendent have a recommendation?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the year-to-date financial statements through January 2019.
Thank you.
So moved.
It's been moved by Board Member Kennedy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Vice Chair Messenger. Is there discussion? The chair hearing none, the chair will call the question as to a vote on approving the superintendent's recommendation. All those in favor indicate by saying yea and vote yes. Aye. Aye? Yay. And those opposed, register your vote no and say no. The vote is unanimous 5-0 to approve the superintendent's recommendation. I think we're down to item number 4, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And this is approval of reclassification of the job title for Chief Information and Technology Officer position to Chief Technology Officer. This is what Board Member Hopes was talking about earlier. Is there a motion? Does the superintendent have a recommendation?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the reclassification of job title for Chief Information and Technology Officer position.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move the approval of the reclassification of the Chief Information and Technology Officer to the Chief Technology Officer.
Okay, it's been moved by Board Member Hopes. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's seconded by Vice Chair Messenger. And is there any discussion? Okay.
I was just going to ask Dr. Hopes to further explain his ideology, that's all.
I think that in looking at what we've gone through with regards to our whole IT department, organizations of our size and complexity, especially with regards to our IT area, this position is more in line with the technology officer. The technology officer deals more with your hardware, your network systems, as opposed to information services. Information services is basically the area of IT that deals with data collection, data flow, reporting for decision making, and in areas like that. And we have, as you're aware, with a district of our size, the magnitude of technology, hardware, and network connections and switches and constantly updating technology, that in of itself is a pretty sizable job function. We will be, I believe we will be getting into a discussion around information services, which deal with data that's going in and out of PeopleSoft and things like that. And so from a sort of standard job description and job title, this position is truly more of a Chief Technology Officer than it is a Chief Information Officer.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Hopes. Board Member Kennedy, did you wish to?
I do, if Board Member Messenger was.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I just want to make sure.
Only that it sounds like your idea is more than just renaming this job, and all that is right here before us is not changing any of what this job did, but only the title.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily opposed to your idea, but you get what I'm saying. Like, this doesn't, like, I'm looking at the job description, none of that has been changed.
Because the job function and the description is more in line with what the industry would refer to as a Chief Technology Officer.
So you feel like the job description that existed should have been this? Okay.
I do.
Okay, thank you. The chair's thought along this line is referring to when people say, okay, you talk to the CIO, the Chief Information Officer, many people think you're talking about like public records. And Mr. Barber, Mike Barber is, the person you talk about information, about the district. And I know I've run into many people who say, confusion. And this is to make it quite clear that this new person who's being hired, they're dealing with the technology. If you want, information, talk with Mr. Barber. And so I think this makes it more clear. That's my take on it, and that's why I, support the superintendent's motion. Now, Mr. Kennedy?
Thank you. I went to press my button. We don't have buttons anymore.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. When this came across my email this afternoon, I read it over. I really had no strong feelings either way about CIO or CTO. But I come back to the point Reverend Golden made just a short time ago about, doing the business of the board openly. And because this just came across our email this afternoon to make the change, and granted, this is not a major change, but just as far as our process, I would ask the board, can this renaming wait until the next meeting? We have just hired the person in question. We're just a conversation about what we're going to officially call him. And again, not a big deal, but when we amend the agenda the afternoon of the meeting, I think we could work better. And I think waiting until the next meeting, which will be the first meeting of April, is not really, Mr. Hansen has been hired as of the action we just took a few items ago, so it will not affect workflow or it's just a process.
Okay. Are there any other comments? One problem I have with your suggestion is that we're hiring somebody, let's hire him, for the name, with the name that we want him to perform. And that's the purpose of our action tonight. I see no benefit of delaying something. That's where I come from. But the board recognizes Mr. Golden. Board Member Golden, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a slightly different take on where we are right now. Apparently, the position was called Chief Information Officer. And what we are being asked to consider is that nomenclature is just not proper. But I would want us to consider something else. Is it inclusive, and this is what I think Mrs. Messenger is driving at, is it inclusive of all of the things that the person is going to be asked to do? If they were hired on Chief Information Officer, and now we're going to call them Chief Technology Officer, and both of those positions do the same thing, and I'm just asking, is there a sentiment, is there an appetite to call them both? Because if they are the same thing, why can't he just be the Chief Information and Technology Officer? Because I thought that's what this was. I thought that's what it said. Approval of reclassification of the job title for Chief Information and Technology Officer position. That's what I really thought. But, so I don't have any rubbers one way or the other. I just would not like for the Chief Information and Technology Officer to tell us next year, you didn't sign me on to do that. You asked me to do this. That's all. So unless we're going to bifurcate the job or divide it, is there an appetite to call him or her what they really are, information and technology?
No.
Chief.
Mr. Minor for response. I guess I would like to ask the superintendent if she's had discussions with this individual regarding the title of the job he's going to be performing.
The chair recognizes the superintendent.
Yes, sir. He knows what he applied for, which is what Reverend Golden referenced. I did tell him that there could be a possible change in the title of his job. However, the job description remains what his job description is. So he didn't care if he was called CIO or CTO.
Peaches.
Or, yeah, I think I won't call him Peaches though, Reverend. That's okay.
Okay, I think we want to call the question. Unless there's further, discussion.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to postpone this to the first meeting of April. If there's no
I'm
support,
sorry.
that's fine.
He will have already started. He got a name badge.
Yeah, I just want to see if there's anybody on the board that has a problem with making changes to the agenda like hours before the meeting. And again, this is not a hill I need to die on. I just want to see if there's anybody that even wants to second it, that's all.
Okay, there's a pending motion.
That I am making a motion to postpone until the first meeting of April.
I'm going to ask for a ruling by the legal counsel. We have a pending motion. Is it proper then to have another motion before consideration of the pending motion?
Mr. Chair, a motion to postpone a pending vote is proper.
Okay.
It does need to be seconded, though, and it could be discussed, could be debated if seconded.
Okay. The chair does not hear a second to Mr. Kennedy's motion. Okay. Okay.
Do you mind if I make a comment?
Yes, the chair recognizes Board Vice Chair Messenger for comment.
I agree with your premise 100%. I just think in this instance, I think it's appropriate to do this now. But as a rule, I think there are several people sitting up here that could testify to when that agenda got amended yesterday to add this person, the level of my unhappiness, I don't know the right word, was pretty high. Just because I agree with you, the community should be aware as far in advance as possible. But since this person is going to be hired, I really think that this is appropriate at this time. But in general, I 100% agree with what you're saying, that there should be proper notification for us, there should be proper notification for the public. I agree with that.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair Messenger. There are other comment? Okay. Are we down one?
We're down one, but I guess we.
Okay.
I could make some more motions while we wait for him to come back.
No.
We have a quorum, so we can vote.
I think Ms. Messenger is in alignment, so.
Okay. The chair, not hearing further comment, is going to call the question. All those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, please indicate by saying yes and register your vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, aye, okay.
Yes.
Let's see. So this approved 4-0 with Board Member Golden being away. Okay. Now, please help me out here. We have...
Workshop request.
We're into workshop requests. And are there any... Okay, the chair recognizes Vice Chair Messenger for workshop request.
This really just came to my mind while we were sitting in our workshop earlier, that perhaps, and actually even what you just addressed with your report, but perhaps the parents, community, board, staff, everybody would benefit from, once session is over, to perhaps have Rutledge Asenia come back and give a presentation about the educational laws that have changed, so that we can all be aware of what's going on in Tallahassee. I believe that would be beneficial for everybody involved. So that's my request. And I thought, well, you know, they're a good group of people and you'll have to plan that pretty far in advance. So I'm putting it out there now, so that hopefully that's my request.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a great request. And are there any other requests at this time? Board Member Golden, the motion was passed 4-0. You were registered as being away on extremely important business.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very much, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to rain on anybody's parade.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Okay. Now, we're asking for workshop requests. Board Vice Chair Messenger is requesting that after the close of the legislative session, we would have our lobbyists come in and give a report of the damage.
Do we vote on that?
We,
I don't think
we
I
have,
use that verbiage.
excuse me, I'll take that back. The effects of the legislation on public education.
Thank you.
I'll take that back. I apologize. Okay. Now, and that's where I was soliciting if, I think we have a lineup already of some workshop requests. I think that was a great one by a board member, a Messenger, or Vice Chair Messenger. Any other suggestions? If not, we'll just kind of defer to the next meeting. Okay. We'll have
Legal update.
legal update. Attorney Dye.
There's no legal update for me tonight.
Okay. And is Mr. Tylemon? No? No, sir. Okay. And can we have a instructional update from the superintendent?
Yes, sir. March is School Social Work Month. The Community Partnership and Resource Committee is celebrating the month by giving back to the Salvation Army as they recognize that together we can make a difference. Collection bins are located at the SSC and the PSC for general need items. The items will be used for the family shelter that directly assist our students and their families when they are in need. In addition, we have two celebrities. Our district nominee for Principal and Assistant Principal of the Year for Finalist of the State, we're proud to announce Ann McDonald of Sugg Middle School, as well as the Assistant Principal of Bernadette Pletcher of Tillman Elementary, have made it to the finalist round for the state. So we'll know next week if any of them come out as the top contender. So we definitely are proud and recognize both of them. Also Thursday night, I'm sure all of you have noted on your calendar, especially after today, we have our annual military ball. So I'm looking forward to being there and seeing all of you at 6 p.m. at the Hyatt in Sarasota. And also tonight, it's going on right now, there is a parent information meeting for Barbara Harvey Elementary School being held tonight at Buffalo Creek. So we have named that principal. Ms. Rio is there meeting and greeting parents that could be attending that school in the fall. So with that, that's my conclusion of my instructional updates.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent. Okay. The next is operations update. Mr. Wagner.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 10 items. First of all, I want to appreciate you approving the Trip Spark school bus routing. It was on the agenda tonight. It's $395,000, and what that's going to do is enables our bus drivers to clock in and out, accept field trips, and also, most importantly, student tracking for barcodes as we get that implemented. So we'll be able to real-time update parents on the app of where the students are in progress, what bus they're on. So that's going to be implemented for the fall. Congratulations to personnel. Since our last school board meeting, we've had 3 job fairs at here in the state of Florida at education departments, and they've been favorably attended. We have our big job fair coming up April 27th, so we'll talk about that at the next board meeting at the convention center. PeopleSoft, we've locked down the ability for anyone to make changes to their direct deposit information from home. You can only do it at school or on a school district server. As you heard tonight, we've so far fielded over 1,000 email questions this month, closed out 32 tickets in the last 2 weeks, and a total of 178 tickets to date for the PeopleSoft implementation. Also on the agenda tonight was the WAS. We're the first Steve Wozniak Career Pathway School in the entire United States. We'll have more information of that forthcoming as we move that program forward. IT and school-based tech reports, we've closed out 856 tickets as of 3/12, just for like the last 2 weeks. All combined between the schools and the districts for IT tech tickets, we're running right around 1,700 tickets a month closed out. So that's Great work from all our IT staff and school-based IT staff also. I want to recognize one of our employees, Judy Pagan. She's our ERP engineer and data center from the IT department. She worked over the weekend to upgrade the iSeries AS400 server operating system, and it saved us a lot of money for her to do that. And she took that on her own initiative, so we want to say thank you to Judy Pagan for taking the initiative to make that happen. Number 7, WebNet. It continues to be down, we know, once in a while. We are working on it. We appreciate everybody's diligence. You know, in the beginning, WebNet really was a nice place to go to access software, and now it's pretty much required to go to access our software in our district. We're running 1 million logons a month, if you can imagine that, 1 million logons a month. So there is a lot of pressure on that software, and we feel like we're getting to the point where it's not going to crash any longer, but still, we appreciate everyone's patience as we test out some new patches. Number 8, I want to just mention our construction rodeo today. It was at MTC. We had over 400 students, 400 high school students attend from 12 area high schools, not just here in Manatee County, but also all the high schools in Sarasota County came. So I want to thank the Gulf Coast Builders Exchange and their members. There were a lot of volunteers to make that happen. Number 9, Food and Nutrition Department. Food and Nutrition Services Department will provide children with free lunch over spring break. Okay, our spring break is March 25th through the 29th. Free meals are offered for kids 18 and younger as part of our spring break food service program. There's 2 mobile feeding buses that will be in the north and on the south, and all the times and locations are found at manateeschoolsfood.net. So unlike manateeschools.net, it's manateeschoolsfood.net. And you can go to that website right now and see the location and the times of when those buses will be out. So number 10, thank you to all the operations team for making this, supporting this school district and all of our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, on jobs, you know, the whole department doing a great job. What, okay, our next, superintendent, you have some remarks you'd like to share with us, please?
I do, and one has to do with the Deputy Superintendent of Operations. I would like to recognize him for being one of the Leadership Manatee Alumni Association honorees. They're going to be recognizing him for the Kent C. Sulch Distinguished Alumni Award. This will occur at a luncheon on April 10th, 2019 at Pier 22. We're very proud of you, Doug.
Thank you. Team effort from everybody here.
I also welcome our Chief Technology Officer on board. He begins April 1st, so I know we're all looking forward to that. And I will be in Tallahassee the next couple of days. There's a superintendent's meeting. This is the time and session where all the superintendents meet. So I'll be back, though, in time for the military ball Thursday. Thank you.
Okay. We look forward to seeing you at the military ball. That's wonderful. Okay. Great comments here. And congratulations, Mr. Wagner. It's well deserved. Okay. Board comments. Board Member Kennedy, you get the lead off.
Thank you, sir. First, I want to thank Dr. Conard and the superintendent for the speed with which this district working group came together on the community partnership schools issue. And on Friday, we're going to go up to the Rosen School in Orlando to take a look at a community partnership school in action. I'll give the superintendent credit for a lot of things, but one of them is when she makes a decision and decides she wants to do something, it starts getting done right away. So that is, as a fan of community partnership schools, I thank you both for the leadership on the effort. Mr. Chair, I want to thank you for today's workshop. That workshop is going to end up being about twice as long as this board meeting is. And we took it right to the final bell. And I just wanted to circle back. One thing that I wanted to include in that, and I thank Noelle and Karina and Michelle Messina from Student Services for putting that presentation together and presenting today. One issue that is going to come up with us, to Dr. Golden's point, Reverend Dr. Golden, Reverend Lawyer Dr. Golden's point, about this not being a one-off workshop and then we forget about it. I just want to put this on your radar now, is that one of the things that we learned at the All Together Now conference is that having a dress code where you have gender-specific rules for dress is really a very outdated practice. And the most inclusive way to handle that when we approve the student handbook a little bit later in the year is to make sure that we approve a student handbook that does not have gender-specific dress codes. There is one dress code. It applies to young men and young boys and young girls. It applies to everybody equally. So I just wanted to throw that in because we ran a little long. But Mr. Chair, I appreciate, as I said to you at the workshop, I appreciate you getting that done so quickly as well. I do want to circle back to one item. We had a conversation at the last, kind of at the end of the last meeting at the convention center about the Parkland Commission and the issue of arming teachers is now back. And I don't agree with it, but in fairness, I want to make sure the board is aware of this, that on Friday at Lemon Bay High School, I apologize, I don't know how to say his last name. Is it Galtieri? Sheriff Galtieri, if anybody knows? He was chair of the commission. He will be at Lemon Bay High School on Friday. It starts at mid-morning, and he's doing a presentation for law enforcement and school district officials. So if any of you or anybody in the community, if that is an issue you are following, and you know, you would like to know more, or you know, about arming teachers or anything, that was happening. I think we got it on a board meeting day, and so I kind of missed it, and then I was getting caught up on email, and I saw it. I'll be in Orlando at the Community Partnership School visit, so I won't be there, but I wanted to put it on your radar if that was something you wanted to do. And then this is a repeat too, but Thursday night at the South County Library, Protect Our Public Schools is doing a community forum with Dr. Amy Ellis from Central Florida on an information session on community partnership schools. Open to the public, Manatee County Library, South Campus, 5:30 on Thursday night. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Okay, kind of lost my. Yeah. What?
Mr. Golden.
Reverend,
Yeah,
Reverend Dr.
Board Member Golden, you're up.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you.
I just would like to revisit the issue that we had talked about before, a resolution from the school board about the arming of teachers. The Florida School Board Association took a position along with some other group that basically said that they wanted to leave the issue of arming teachers or school security to the local districts to decide or to determine what would be in the best interest of each district. And I just think we ought to at least have a discussion about that. We just can't keep going on like that. So I'm willing to at least just start to say that I would move that Manatee County as a school board oppose the arming of classroom teachers. And that's, so I can do that now, I can do it at the next meeting, because I don't want to rush it, and I don't want to, but I do want us to take a stand in that very important discussion. So that's the main thing. And to reiterate this workshop idea, the policy changes that we need. I'm just wondering if it would be helpful to include in the workshop, or would you be willing to include in the workshop, the leadership in our local schools by our parents, specifically the school advisory councils. It's almost like they live in a never land in terms of their responsibilities or their authorities, and at some point there ought to be a gathering of those people, because that's the first line of defense. And I didn't know, Ms. Messenger, if you had any druthers about when we do have our workshop, or when we have a workshop, if we could extend an invitation to the parents of the district to hear. Because a lot of them don't know. They don't even hear about the laws that impact their children. And they think that we have a lot to say about what we have to do. And we don't, you know, a lot of it is unfunded mandates that are just sent down. And We need to try to start being on the same team here instead of those same legislators coming back here saying, well, I don't know how that happened. Yes, you do. You were there. So those are the two things that I hope that we would follow up on.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Golden. Board Member Hopes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My comments tonight are to our employees, our staff. I think there was a comment at the last board meeting or workshop around employee surveys. And so there will be a survey going out. Danielle Clark, who is an instructor at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, who is a doctoral candidate at the Muma College of Business at the University of South Florida, is interested in studying how human resource management practices affect employee engagement and looking at millennials versus non-millennials. But there will be a pretty comprehensive employee survey going out this week. And you will go to a link. The data is we are accessing the employees. The data will be collected on the University of South Florida's Qualtrics site. It will be held confidential. And Danielle Clark will be doing the analysis with her faculty at the University of South Florida. So I encourage, when you get the link, if you will go and take the survey. It's important that every employee at every level respond to the survey. The purposes of the survey are laid out in the link. She would like that the surveys be completed before spring break, so everybody is fresh with regards to their attitudes about the district, their job satisfaction, before you go to spring break and come back all refreshed and with a new attitude. So we would kind of like to know, she would like to know where you are before spring break. So when you get the link in your school district email, if you would please take the time. You can fill out the survey on your mobile phone, on your computer, just about any device that you can link to it, and it's secure. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Board Member Hopes. Vice Chair Messenger.
To respond to Reverend Golden, I'm fine with inviting as many people as possible. I think that the more information we can share with the community, the better. And one of the benefits of us doing it in a workshop is that it'll be on video, so we can refer that to people. And fortunately or unfortunately, I think a lot of people get information from social media. So when we have it on video, that's a much easier way to share this kind of information. And for me, I'm all about how do we get as much information out as possible. So I as many people as we can get. I agree with you, because that becomes advocacy on their part too. So it's not just us; it's everybody all together. So I agree with that. But I also wanted to address Mrs. Rio being named the principal. All the reviews I've heard is just glowing and excitement. So that's exciting. I was actually kind of bummed that I couldn't go to the meet her tonight.
You can still get there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're getting out early.
But that everyone's super excited in Paris. They're like, they love her. They loved Mr. Rio. I guess he left, but they were like, oh, we love Mr. Rio. We're excited. So they're really excited. And I just want to say that we had a great time at Art Slam. I saw Mrs. Saunders there, and there was a lot of schools represented, so it was a great event. And last but not least, I just wanted to give a big thank you to everyone that was behind the Excellence in Education Awards. I know how much work that is, and it's one of my absolute favorite events of the entire year, just because we get to celebrate all the teachers and teachers' aides and now the principals being named. That's just an exciting thing, just to celebrate all the great teachers and teachers' aides and principals and staff that we have here. So with that, I'm done.
Thank you, Vice Chair Messenger. Well, there's been so much going on the last couple of weeks. It's a joy. And I think it explains how we are becoming the best school district in the state of Florida. And one of those things was what Vice Chair Messenger was talking about the Excellence in Education Award ceremony. That was better than any Academy Award thing. And in some ways, I'm kind of a hard guy, but I'm really a sap when it comes to things like that. I kind of tear up because it's so beautiful and how it was done. And I know that Kelly and Michelle put a lot of time, into it, but it was so well done. And we had, so many employees that we're proud of all of them, but these were, the real stars that showed up, and it was just done, so well. They're talking about stars last night. Those who were at the Elementary All-County, Musical Festival, and Board Member, Hopes was there, and the superintendent and I were there. And we had pretty good seats, too, down in front. I got teared up about this. It was so beautiful. And those who put it on, I know Julie Hebert was behind us. But the music was great. Seeing the kids working together. And one of the things pointed out at the beginning was about all these students learning how to work together. And that's one of the things that we try to do in public education is, kids of diverse backgrounds and interests and working together to put together something really beautiful. And that certainly was true, last night, and that's one of our goals. So those who, big applause to them. I don't know about how many people realize that my baseball career came to an end the other day with the Pirates. That's actually me out in right field with Jennifer Lindsay was back there. But this was, I point that out because it was the Pittsburgh Pirates are great citizens. They do a lot for Bradenton, and they through the Chamber of Commerce they let some people who are used to maybe looking a little bit silly, get out and try to field some balls, and I didn't disappoint them in that category. And it was a lot of fun. I think that all of these things going on in the district, with the district, in conjunction, is really what is the a signal that people are recognizing how important public education and the school district of Manatee County is. And I really thank everybody for the privilege of being chair at this time. So with those comments, I'm going to call this meeting to adjourn at 7:20 p.m., which I think is a new record this year. Adjourn.
Fine job.
Aye.